DM me back. We're BFFs now, She don't know it yet, but she's my BFF.
You should have her on the show.
She's nice. No, seriously, that would be the best ever. Hello, it's Deanne Munoz, and welcome back to another Unleash Your Sexy. Hello, audience. Wednesday is our sexy podcast night.
It's sexy.
And tonight we have the one, the only, don't cry, my best friend.
You're going to make me cry?
Love of my life, most spiritual person, inspirational, healing hypnotherapist you could possibly ever find, Kayko Tamaki. And the crowd goes wild. Okay. Today's topic is growing spiritually, sexually, emotionally, and in love, which is a topic we have yet to cover because, you know, I usually have some crazy-ass porn stars on. But today we're going to take a deeper emotional, spiritual level to this. And who, other than this beautifully certified hypnotherapist who I've worked with personally, so yes, I can vouch. Is it right? Is it Father, Son, Holy Spirit that way? Yes. It works, seriously. Like, her hypnotherapy works so good that I've been on sleepy meds for almost 16 years. I literally, after our hypnotherapy session for 2 days, did not even need sleepy meds. That was just session 1. Okay, so let's get into the topics. Okay, actually, tell us about what you do.
Hi.
Introduce yourself.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Deanne. I love this. I've been watching your podcast and just watching you. We're best friends and watching you grow, and we grow together. And it's been amazing. I mean, you teach me so much. You've taught me so much, and we'll get into that throughout this this episode. But so hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is working with the subconscious mind. So when you work with your subconscious mind, it's kind of like a super highway into doing any healing work that you need to do or recognizing whatever record we have playing in our mind, you know, the voices that we have and what they're telling us. And those voices determine how we play out our lives and how we view the world and what our lens kind of shows us. So,
interrupt real quick.
Yeah.
Ready? On me. So I have a channel in my head. And I always say it's called K-fuck.
yeah.
Because the voice is always like, fuck. So I'm glad that you said that it's a channel in the head, because I know a lot of people don't understand the big words, consciousness or awareness. But I love the fact that it's a channel, and imagine a channel with a bunch of fucking static.
Yeah,
and
it's a radio
like,
station.
all the
Radio
time.
stations, you're just kind of tuning, and you can hear these commercials, you hear these different songs. And so when you tune just right, then you tune into the station that you want and that will actually really fulfill you and motivate you and inspire you.
I love that. I'm a visual person, so for me that was like a great explanation for me to understand.
Yeah.
Continue.
Well, I mean, I just feel like you are such a pioneer because, you know, you're a representation of like what we would call a sex symbol, and, you know, you represent sexuality and freedom and all of these things, but you are so spiritual. You are so in tune with what everything means and purpose and motivation. And so I think that's such a beautiful bridge that you don't see very often in this world. And so I think that this is going to be a really big part of the evolution of the human race.
Ooh, I got chills. Oh shit, I got chills.
The reason being is because sex, even now, and though we're definitely evolving and moving forward, there's so much shame associated with sex. You know, as you can imagine, I mean, people are throwing shame and shade at what you've done in your work, which is unfortunate because as long as we carry shame around sex, we're not going to be able to really progress.
Oh, that was deep. That was deep. Is there even a sound effect for that to go deep? Like a deep trombone? Or like, I don't know, what's a deep sound
Like
effect?
a deep bass or something. Boom. Yeah.
That was deep. I felt that.
Yeah.
No, and honestly, I feel that is completely true because everything really comes from within and about addressing the issues that a lot of people don't want to address anymore, and that they judge from what their moms told them from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 60s.
Yeah.
Yes, completely.
That's where it comes from. And I think that as we're the topic here being how to bridge sex and spirituality, I think the first place is working with the shame that exists. And so that's why what you have done and what you're doing in this world is so important, because you're eradicating that shame and you own it, you know? And I feel like I personally, as a friend in your life, I have learned so much through being around you, and observing you, that it just kind of like really, it diminished all of the religious and societal projections of like what's okay, what's wrong, what's all of that, and it's completely took it away. And so I don't know if you know this, but I've been able to even just progress myself sexually just being around you and not feeling shame around dressing sexy or being provocative, because that's something I might feel in myself, and owning it. So unleashing the sexy, you know? And I feel like, as much as you might not think so, like that is a progress into spirituality, is owning our sexuality.
Yes.
Tapping into it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot to me because I take a stand for myself, you know, through my own breakthroughs, through my own self-confidence and the decisions I make, and to own it. So when I hear another woman not bashing me,
oh my God,
but inspired to be that goddess within who is sexual, who has desires, who has passion, and owning it, like that truly makes me like, wow, I feel like I am doing something correct.
Yes.
With my message and who I stand for as myself, because I just be me because this is what feels good to me. So to be able to have someone to tell me that they're inspired by me, thank you.
Absolutely. There's so much spiritual work in what you do.
Thank you.
And I know you must experience it, right? Like firsthand. I mean, as much as like, say for example, a lot of your fan base is, you know, predominantly male, I'm sure females too, but let's just say for just a general topic, there's the male fan base, and it's so much more than just like them just getting off, you know? If you think about it, even pornography being invented, it's just something that people have been able to explore themselves sexually without the fear of society or people watching them and rejection. And so it's been this way that people could expand upon.
Right.
And so I recognize that even with your fan base, I observe all the time how they respond to you and react, and you give them a sense of this freedom and taking away the shame of whatever turns them on. And so that's the first steps into exploring our sexuality and therefore exploring our sense of spirituality.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just want to listen. I feel like I don't even have anything to say. That is true. And it's refreshing. And right now in this moment, I'm thinking I need to have a lot more. What would the word be, you guys? Like educated or certified person, but people who are more educated in the actual psychology and the physicality of sex. Because for me to have like another film star, another IG girl talk about it, it's not really validated in people's heads. But to have like somebody who's certified as you as a hypnotherapist, or somebody who's a certified sex therapist, or Dr. Ruth, you know what I mean, to come in and be like, yes, bitch, suck that dick. You know what I mean? Lick that pussy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're the most like renowned person respected for sex. So for you to say that, thank you.
No, thank you. You're teaching us all so much, you know? It's so much more deeper than just like pornography or being sexy. There's so much more to it, you know?
Right.
There's so much more. And if we can explore ourselves sexually, say, for example, if a man looks to you and is, you know, trying to get his confidence up, or you know, a lot of us humans, we learn sex through watching pornography, which can be like a great thing and also a hard thing to live up to.
Right.
But it's also just like how we as human beings are learning. It's so interesting that we have no other examples to really watch other than movies and film and pornography on how to love, how to have relationships,
right?
How to have sex, you know.
Is this not true, you guys?
Yeah.
That is, oh shit, that's, and the crowd goes wild. Think about it.
So everyone's learning. You think about the little teenage boy or girl, they're learning from these things that we watch. And so fortunately, you're probably one of the only porn stars out there that represent something more than just that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm absolutely loving everywhere we're going with this. And I love you in every sense.
Same.
This is like a topic that I don't get to discuss very often. Right? This wire is right in my eye view of me connecting with your eyes. And it's driving my OCD
Eye contact.
crazy. Yes, it is. I'm like, testing 1, 2, 3. Am I in trouble, audio guy, Noel? If I am, you can spank me. No, I was kidding.
He's blushing.
He's like, no, I'm okay.
See what sexuality does? Like even
Yes.
flirting and things like that, it just like lights us up.
It does. It is. It's empowerment, and in what I teach is, for my Unleash Your Sexy, is that the root chakra. For those of you who don't know what root chakra is, that's the penital or vaginal area of your body, base, which controls all your energy. And with the root chakra, if it's cut off, if it's blocked, if there's trauma within it,
Which there probably is
a lot,
for all of us.
through
Yeah.
childhood, through as grade school, high school, even through our 20s, 30s, 40s, things happen to people, and I find that it really is like the playfulness. I find when you start being playful again, being playful again with the root chakra, right? And you're able to have fun and make jokes, and like, sex isn't a bad thing. It's beautiful. It should be
Embraced.
embraced. It should be worship. It should be praised. It should be like a gift.
It is a gift.
And that's so interesting because I understand what I do for a living. The act of shooting porn is completely different. That'll bring me to our first question is, what to you does it mean to have a more cosmic and spiritual sexual encounter versus a one-night stand?
Well, I think that I really like to use like.
And then, no, let's take a quick shot.
Okay, yeah, let's take a shot to that. Let me tell you. Okay.
Not that I've ever had a one-night stand.
Some people have it.
Really? Seriously?
I know some.
Okay, wait. Dear YouTube world, has anyone really never had a one-night stand? Okay, anyone in the room? Anyone in the room never had a one-night stand? Really? Oh, wait.
Don't be embarrassed. Just
Wait,
because
what does kinda mean? It's like I'm kinda pregnant or I'm not.
The closest thing that ever happened was my best friend asked me to fuck her girlfriend, and I did it, and I knew her and whatever, and I really didn't want to. That's the closest I got to a one-night stand.
Oh yeah, that doesn't count.
But that's because no, it doesn't count. So that's because
Me and my friends do it, and it says like we just owe each other another threesome with my husband, my boyfriend.
But to me, it was like we never went on a date. I never fed her. We never spooned or talked on the phone. Nothing.
Oh.
So I guess to me, that's like I fucked her this one night. And that was it. But
Wow.
well, that's actually a good thing because here you have someone in the audience who is having connection with sex.
Wow. Can I ask you a few questions? Yeah. Okay, and I'm asking because I'm the complete opposite. Is it something that you were taught by mom and dad?
no, absolutely not. They're so free and open, clear. But I think what I've found now is that it has to do with my own physical experience on this planet. Like I don't live in my body, so like my body isn't the first thing that I'm about to like share with someone. I'm more like all in the moons and stars. So like it's very much inspired by a connection, and then we use our bodies to do it.
Okay, so next question. At what age did you come into that mindset?
I've always been in that space.
Even as a little girl?
Yeah.
Like you just felt it should always be like a deeper connection?
Yeah. I've never acknowledged my body, really.
Ah.
But I
So-
realize that that's probably why it is, because I'm not physical. I'm not like a physical person.
Ah, okay. So, interesting.
I love physical expression.
Okay.
But it's not the first language that I speak at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so then I'm go a little deeper. So my next question is, at what happened at some point in your life, or maybe you didn't experience, that you knew either A, physical touch should be something that's really special, or B, I just want to wait for something. What influenced the moment that you said, I'm going to wait for something meaningful?
Well, you know what? I don't think it was conscious, but what I do recognize is that at a very early age, I experienced abuse on a few different levels. So I think my mind created this world so that my body didn't have to be
A protection.
You know, so like I was out there, and then I liked the physical thing. I was never conscious. Like I consciously was excited to share the body part, but it came later. It still comes later for me.
Right.
It's not like I've ever gone out and I'm like, damn, you're fine, you know, and then I want to fuck. It's more like, whoa, I feel connected to this person, and then I'm like, let's touch, you know,
Right.
whole other thing.
The connection to feel safe.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and that's really a big part of sexuality is the feeling of safety, a container of safety, and vulnerability.
Oh.
That's everything.
So you want to shoot me right now?
Like sex is, there's genitals. Yeah, it feels good. Like if you like touch this is gonna get stimulated, but it's so much more than that. I'll cut to kind of like
Yeah.
to that subject. I have a friend that's also a musician, and he was like on tour, and so the people that were hosting him were just like, we're gonna send this beautiful woman to your room and have fun. And so this woman arrives at his room, and he's like, she's just like ready to go, and he's like, he needed to like serenade her and play his guitar and go through all this stuff and woo her because that's a turn on.
Yeah. She was like, bro, you're on a time limit for 60 minutes. I got paid for 60 minutes. You have 3 minutes left, so if you have 2 minutes in, you hurry up.
Exactly. And so different strokes for different folks, but I do think that like sex is so much more than our genitalia. It's so much more than like friction or like a mutual masturbation, I call it. It's connection. I mean, Esther Perel is one of my most favorite therapists, and she writes books, and she's all about relationship and sex, and she's amazing. You'd love her. But she talks about how...
Can we Google her for her next seminar and sign me up? Thank you.
God, she's amazing. She just talks about how like sex is just like a way for us to find parts of ourselves that we want to discover or that we've lost.
Oh, parts that we lost.
Or want to discover.
Or want to discover. And I want to speak a little bit on that. And I find, and interesting enough, is because being in the adult industry, my experience is sex is an action. You know, it's a job. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's interesting because my job might be doing construction or sex, and I view sex as construction until I date somebody. The irony is, but when you date me, like, getting in my pants is not easy because I need so much more. I need the serenade.
Right.
I need the affection.
Yeah.
And mind you, the word vulnerability makes me want to throw up. And I've discussed this 100 times. Like, I'm not really good with that. You know, I have a big ego and I have a lot of pride. And those are my mechanisms that I built up as a child to keep
you
me
safe.
protected and safe. And at the same time, I still have people to this day, when I meet somebody who is genuinely serenading me, I don't have a problem letting those walls down.
Yeah.
It's just in this time, the way people operate, it just doesn't exist very often. It does exist. I believe in it. I believe in it so much. It just hasn't really presented itself. So I know sometimes people might be like, okay, well, you're over-guarded. I'm like, no. I'm 43. I know a fuckboy from a fucktard from a fuckboy, you know? Like, that's just the common sense. And I also know when someone's loving, kind, supportive, and who's so into me, you know from the beginning. You feel it. And I'm so aware of that I'm able at this age, you know, trust me, in my 20s, oh Lord.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster
My
ride.
pick of men and women was what's the word? Tumultuous?
Tumultuous, yeah.
That word.
Yeah, during that time, we're just exploring. We're seeing what works, what fits. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
So yeah, to answer that question, what does it mean to have cosmic, spiritual?
Yeah, so what to you does it mean to have a more cosmic and spiritual sexual encounter?
Which I think you just answered, is just having that deep sense of feeling of taking your time, the serenade. It just has such a depth to it. It's a lasting feeling. And I like to associate food and eating with sex because it's like think about a one night stand. I think is like a drive-through at McDonald's. You're like, yeah, let's go. Let's have a cheeseburger and french fries. Let's go. And then you get through there and you're eating it and it's gluttonous and it's fast and whatever. And
You're like,
then
and Biggie
by the end of it,
Biggie, their french fries, please.
how do you feel? You're just like, why did I do that? Or just like, or like you have a stomach ache. But then when you talk about this cosmic, deeper connected sense of sexuality and love and connection, it's like having a homemade meal. It's so good.
Take a bow. Can we get on her? Take a bow. Thank you.
Yeah, let's take a shot to homemade meals because, you know.
Shit. Fuck yeah. I've had quite a few. Here's to them and me texting them tonight. Thank you for the homemade meal.
Yes.
So our tequila is not frozen or cooled.
Room temp.
Okay, so let's go to the next question. Or I actually have something I want to say. I'm trying to see when I should say it. Let's answer the questions first, because I have to do the questions. Or should I just follow what is said?
Whatever. Yeah. I
Okay.
think there's a bridge between both.
Yeah, okay. Next question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Kayko Tamaki. Question number 2. Do you think most people focus more on the performance aspect?
Yes, I think people do. And I think that's what takes people out of the experience, out of their bodies, out of what's really happening. You know, it's kind of like being on your phone, you know, and you're like not able to really hear what people are saying to you if you're having a conversation, you know.
Story of my life.
We all know what that's like.
Who put her up to this? That's all I want to know. Someone put her up to this. Jasmine.
But
Where is she?
And also though, like, you know, thank you, porn.
Did she just leave you? Where's Jasmine? Oh.
Like, thank you, porn, but also porn, like, has deterred us because we have this high bar of expectation of, like, how we're supposed to fuck, you know? Can I say fuck?
Okay. Yeah.
So like
we're mixing in everything. So
we're
this
in our
is so unaltered now.
So we're in our head, and I think we're all. I mean, I'm guilty of this too, and it's when we can just really dial in. So it's just like having a conversation. If I'm on my phone, or if I'm thinking about the next thing I'm gonna say, then I'm not really listening. But if I just tune in and listen and like make contact with you, it's all gonna be fine.
It's like I explain to people, because I'm always telling people fairy tales exist, chemistry exists. So that's what I was going to literally say earlier. So see, here kicks in.
Here it is.
This is it.
Yeah.
I always explain. Fairy tales exist. You should be able to look into someone's eyes and not look away and connect on such a fucking deep level that both of you don't have to say a fucking word, that you could literally orgasm without even touching each other. Because the connection and the love and the chemistry is so fucking deep.
Yeah.
That, to me, is cosmic. And people were like, that doesn't happen. What the fuck, you liar. Nobody does that. No, bro. You just settling. People don't want to be alone anymore. So the first person that comes their way, they're like, hi, come here. You're my boyfriend or girlfriend. And then they're like, 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years later, like, you want to get married? I don't.
Yeah. So I invite you all to just tune in. Just drop it all, you know? Just focus. I mean, I've had my own issues with that, and like my partner has actually brought me out of that, you know, where the performance thing or just like wanting to be attractive and whatever, and grabbed my face and was like, stay with me. Stay here. She's gonna cry.
I might.
Oh my God. It's so hard not to travel. We have so many things happening. So many things happening inside. How do I look? How do I feel? How do I smell? Traumas and like, yeah, it's a lot. I'm telling you, like, sex is such a big thing in our lives. And when we transcend and heal in that area, it's everything. Yeah. Yeah.
I said earlier I was going to cry.
You felt it. I love you.
I have a happy story. I remember dating someone once, and I remember it was the first time like I had a guy like validate me.
Yeah.
And I remember like we were having sex, and he stopped me in the middle, and he was like, "Look at me," and I was like, "Where?"
Yeah.
And
And he was like in my eyes, and I remember I was like, my fucking like heart dropped, and I was like, why? He's like, I'm not fucking you, I'm making love. And I literally remember just fucking crying for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And he was like, he literally said, stop being a porn star in bed.
Holy shit. Yeah.
I'm not here for the porn star, I'm here for you. Mm-hmm. And I literally I remember I cried the whole time. Because I never felt a man love me to such a level where it was about me, not the porn star.
Yeah.
You know, and as a woman coming from abuse, as a woman coming from a father that didn't show love, like coming from abusive relationships, I knew nothing less than you better do their hardest to get my motherfucking attention and fight for me.
Oh.
And to meet somebody that told me, stop, you are enough.
Yeah.
Blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
And that to me was a very spiritual awakening. And I remember like literally like he's just like, get a missionary. And I was like, missionary? Who does missionary? And I got a missionary, and he just like laid on top of me, just looked me in the eyes and said, just don't do nothing. And I was fucking crying. Like I swear to God, I think I cried out every fucking 4-year-old tear, 8-year-old tear, 14-year-old tear for every incident that ever happened that I'd ever been abused. That someone respected me for once. It was so powerful. That to me is cosmic. That to me is spiritual sex. That someone acknowledged me and saw me for me.
Yes.
And not an object for once.
That's why it's so healing. Sex is a tool for our healing and for connection. It really is. Wow.
Okay, so next question. What's the next question? And I'm uncomfortable.
Vulnerable.
We're going to go into this question. I'm going to answer it as well because I don't want to put...
We have a question.
Okay.
How much does meditation and yoga help to improve your sexuality, your spiritual sexuality?
Oh, yes. I mean, it's everything. I think that... how much does meditation and yoga help to improve your spirituality, sexuality? I think it's very helpful. It's a tool. It's an exercise. It's like stretching before a workout. It's all interconnected, you know? And the more that we can exercise, it's like a muscle here to be able to create that stillness and get all that chatter away and all the thoughts about how I'm performing or what's happening or how does this person see me. When we can tune that out and tune in, the more that we exercise that, we can show up with our partner, with sex, and like really go in. And so it's like a muscle. So doing those things really helps to facilitate that. Great question.
Awesome question. Thank you so much. What was the YouTuber's name? Brave Weathers, thank you so much for participating. We truly appreciate your question. Anybody else that has any questions, please ask away. We're here to support you guys and answer them.
Very brave,
Thank
Brave
you.
Weathers.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so question was, what is spiritual... I'm all serious now. What the fuck? Hold on. Let's take a shot.
Oh my God.
I'm all...
So
Bring me back.
To assign a spiritual quality to alcohol, this is called spirits. They call it spirits for a reason. Shake it up, loosen up. Yeah. Cheers to eye contact and to making love.
Oh, here's to making love. And here's to the one person I trust making eye contact with. Thank you. Thank you for giving me that space.
Thank you.
Cheers. Now I want to cry again. Wow. I swear to God, I knew I was going to fucking cry.
Yeah, you called it. You're doing your makeup and you were like, I'm going to cry.
I knew it. I'm like, I'm going to have her on. She's going to make me cry. No, she wasn't. I just knew we were going to have some beautiful conversations.
As always.
About my own spiritual awakenings. And I cry because my spiritual awakenings are moments in my life that I got to learn and grow and become open and vulnerable. So I always joke vulnerability makes me uncomfortable, which it fucking does, but I know in order for me to love and to be loved, the vulnerability has to be there. So I always make jokes about it because the past Deanne, her ego and pride is so huge, vulnerability wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
My ego and pride is still pretty big, but it's so easy when somebody proves themselves to make me safe and loving for me to let those down. So we love these moments. Okay, so what is spiritual ecstasy? How can it, so what is spiritual ecstasy and how can it unite you deeper with your lover? Oh.
Spiritual ecstasy. I mean, I think.
So I guess that would be like an orgasm.
I
I don't know, that's what I took.
Well, I want to say, I mean, orgasms are so great, you know, no matter what. But if you want to talk about like the element of like tantra, and it's not about orgasm, and it's just about connecting, I like to think about how instead of making sex like this contained, like we're having sex and it's like happening from here to here and it ends at the orgasm, is so confining and it's just limiting, because we can be making love throughout the day. Because I can send you a text and be like, how are you feeling, baby? And like, just like we're making love, we flirt. There's this like, we're just exchanging this like beautiful love-making energy throughout us through the day. It's not just a physical experience, you know?
Okay, so on that note, I have a YouTube video out, and it's for women and men, and it's on how to seduce your woman. Mm-hmm. And it's not about trying to get that IG girl in your bed. It's about being in a relationship already and trying to reignite and spark the passion. And I talk about this where I say for women, it starts in the mind. So in the morning when you leave the house.
Not just women, men too.
Yeah. Well, that's well, most of all my videos are for men.
That's right. Well, the audience,
So I teach men from the morning to the night. If you're trying to get in your woman's pants and she hasn't given you sex for a long time, it starts with the affirmations, words of affirmation.
Exactly.
It starts with the tease. It starts with, hiring a babysitter. It starts with
the touch, the touch of the hand.
Yes, acknowledging her. And the affection, the love, which are things that men usually lack in a relationship. So I have a YouTube video out, you guys, right now. Make sure you guys go check out my YouTube videos. If you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. But it's geared for people who are in relationships. They've lost the passion, and they're no longer coming home to that passion of like, oh my fucking God, when I get home, I'm gonna rip her fucking clothes off.
Yeah. It's not something to turn on or off. Like between the physical act of making love, there should always be a making love, you know?
Correct.
It's always happening. And our minds are so much more powerful than our actual physical bodies. So, sex starts in the fantasy. It starts here. If I'm already anticipating you, if I'm already anticipating how we're going to be together, that's so much more erotic. It rises the intimacy and the eroticism and the soon to have orgasm way out of the roof because you're already anticipating it, because you're waiting for it. Like that tension is so much more powerful than just like, we started 15 minutes ago and we ended.
Uh-oh, sorry, I just fucked up my white wall. Okay, so 5 minutes, okay. 4. Oh, 4. Is it gonna shut off automatically, or that's just a timer? Just a timer. Okay, so we're probably gonna, let's try to go like 5 minutes before 60. Okay, so on that note, I'm gonna go with what came to me.
Okay,
just
yeah, let's do
authentically.
that.
Okay,
Yes.
is let's support everybody watching at the moment, right? Because I feel like there's so many men and women who've never experienced cosmic or spiritual love making or sex. And I've had so many conversations where I've been in a room, 90% of everybody doesn't even believe it exists. So you give me your top 3 signs that it is cosmic and spiritual and how to take the next level, and then I'll give my 3.
Okay. All right. I'm going to answer this question from my personal experience. 3, right? 3 signs that I'm having a cosmic, spiritual, sexual, lovemaking experience.
Yes, because no one, people, I always say fairy tales exist.
Right. Okay. Not in order, but 1, gender dissolves. I don't know who's what. We're just one. We trade places. It's yin, yang. It's just like this give, take, this in-breath, this out-breath. When everything dissolves, our forms dissolve, our identities, the roles, when that dissolves, I know I'm there. 2, when I cry, I feel deep emotion. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I swear,
love it.
oh, okay. I'll wait my turn.
And 3, I just feel completely whole and beautiful. I just feel like, wow, you know, as a soul, I'm here having a human experience, and as souls, like, we're always making love, but when, as a human, I feel like just no fear, and I just feel like I recognize that as a soul, I came here into a human body to make love. You know? Like, oh yeah, I came here to do this, to merge these bodies, and how beautiful it is. So those are the 3 for me.
Okay. Absolutely loved everything you said. Quick shot. We love warm tequila.
ASMR shot. ASMR shot taking.
We love warm tequila. It makes us not want to throw up. Okay. So same thing. So I want to end it.
Yeah.
I want to end this in a very beautiful story.
Yeah.
So the number 3, number 1, number 2, number 3. So 3 things for me that I know is cosmic and spiritual. And it's so interesting because I'm constantly online speaking with men and women, especially men. Men, I find have the highest rate of telling me that chemistry does not exist forever, love does not exist forever, and making love doesn't exist forever. And that is 100% completely fucking false.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's true if you're not allowing yourself to enter spiritual space. So you know what? If you're not spiritual, if you're not vulnerable, it's not sustainable, and it will end.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with that.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
But I think that's completely true. But before that, there's another step. So my thing is they're missing. Okay, there we go. You're right. But they're missing a step.
Right.
Is men
can go from woman to woman to woman to woman because it's a physical pleasure.
Right.
They're not looking for the spirituality or the emotional or the cosmic connection. So the next thing that's there to temporarily satisfy them from the last pain of the last girl, they jump on it.
McDonald's.
McDonald's
That's
to
what I'm
McDonald's to
saying.
Taco Bell to whatever it is.
Come on, until you grow your own food.
So I think that's the huge thing is for me, I would honestly say that number one is being single and loving yourself so much. You don't need somebody by yourself, by your side, 24 hours a day, a puppy that does everything you say all day long, whenever you say, or somebody that's checking up on you 20 times a fucking day. Like, I feel like that in no way is cosmic, spiritual, or a soulmate connection. Because two soulmates in this cosmic, in this chemistry, or cosmically connected, it's going to be where you could look at each other in the eyes, not say a word, and trust beyond trust in every way. So people always tell me, guys especially, oh, soulmates don't exist. Oh, chemistry doesn't exist. Fairy tales don't exist. No, bro. You're just go from girl to girl to girl to girl to girl to girl until the next girl because you can't be alone.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you there too because
Okay.
you know why? Because I think that if you are facing your soulmate and the person that you're going to spend your life with, you have so much work to do together. So you're going to trigger all the uncomfortable, difficult things, challenging things that are going to come up with each other. And it's having the patience and the willingness to stay.
I completely agree.
It's not like this eye contact, whatever. You're going to be like, what are you going to do? Are you going to hurt me? You know.
No, I agree.
Right.
But so number one is what I'm saying, isn't that part?
When you're having the cosmic moment connection.
So that's number 2 and 3. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Number one is what I'm saying is a lot of people do not wait until they've met someone where you saw them across the room and literally your heart dropped and you had those like bugaloo red hearts, like a cartoon come out of your eye, or you couldn't breathe when they walked in, you know, or that chemistry where like when they called, like you got the tingles up your fucking arms. And I'm talking about your whole relationship.
Yeah.
Not just the first 3 months,
Yeah,
6
yeah.
months,
Yeah.
9 months.
Yeah.
I'm talking about years down the line. You still feel the same way about this person. So to me, that's cosmic. To me, that's passionate. Doesn't mean we're not going to fight. We're not going to argue.
No, but you know what? You're absolutely right.
I'm not going to
about
want to kill you.
that. You're right about that, yeah.
But it really is either A, let me meet this girl. She does everything I say. She's cute. It's fun for the moment. Boom. And then you're stuck with her, and what happens? People cheat. They leave. They're uncomfortable. They're angry. People are like, shit.
There has to be the right amount of tension, but then like also an ease, yeah.
I just say chemistry.
Chemistry, yeah.
I say chemistry because I honestly, I just from every, if you guys know what I do for a living, I entertain
You know
across
about
the world.
chemistry.
And I'm always hearing from men is how they're not in love with the woman they're with. And nor were they ever. They either felt an obligation from family, or at the moment it was fun, or B, they got pregnant and they felt like they
Obligation.
had to create this life so they don't feel guilty. So
The shame. See, the shame comes right back
there
in.
we go.
Yeah.
So to me, this whole conversation goes back to people wait till you're single. Like be single, enjoy being single. Wait for that person.
Reset. I think single to me like represents reset. A reset.
Self-love.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been single 10 years. 5 minutes. And it's self-love. For me, it's just all self-love.
Self-love, self-love, self-love. I love myself so much. I've had cosmic sex. I've had the spiritual experience. And like I've shared with my daughter numerous times, like with her dad, like we were cosmic. We were spiritual, like in every single way that could possibly imagine a relationship. And there's one thing I always tell her, when you were conceived, you were made in the most passionate, craziest, true, reciprocated love. Do you know what I mean? She wasn't a mistake.
Yeah.
It wasn't a one-night stand.
I mean,
She
that's a whole
wasn't-
topic, like
you know,
how
like-
we're conceived,
Like
the
she
energy.
wasn't.
Yeah.
She wasn't a rebound.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you were authentically made out of that cosmic, spiritual fucking love.
And it doesn't take away from that cosmic love just because it ended. So I don't feel like the ending of anything is like a dismissal to how connected it was too. There's a time and space for it. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
exactly. Even
Yeah.
to this day, like
Yeah.
we're still cosmically and spiritually connected. Just not sexual.
I love him. Yeah.
Minus the sexuality, but there's still that connection. There really is. And likewise, you know, after that, I had a girlfriend, and that was one of the first people I ever learned to make love with. Like it took a woman, because of things that happened in my childhood with men, for me to trust men. And I married somebody, and you know, it turned into a bad relationship. For me to trust love again, it took a woman, and literally, like every time we made love, because she was so adamant about, don't ever treat me like I'm a one-night stand. Don't ever treat me like I'm nothing less. Like she was so about making love. It's passionate, it's deep. And it was my first time being introduced to this cosmic lovemaking that I was like, I never even knew people existed like this, because the men in my life didn't treat me like that. And every time I'll say to this day, we made love, I cried. I would cry because it was so soft, it was so gentle, and she would look me in the eyes and just hold me and kiss me and just be like, you don't have to do anything more.
Isn't that so beautiful?
Just be you.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I said, wow, somebody sees me just for my soul. And that was the evolution of me learning not to give a fuck what anybody fucking thinks about me. I'm going to be me at all times, forever, for the rest of my life. But that's how I know that magic exists.
Yeah.
That's how I know chemistry exists. So when I hear people like, oh, it doesn't exist, I'm like, wow, I feel sorry. I feel so sorry for you that you've yet to meet someone who connects with your soul and wants to cradle it, protect it, and love it like it's something so precious.
It really is.
Because the day someone did that to me, I fucking cried my
Life
eyeballs
changing.
out.
It's life changing.
Okay, ba-dum-bum.
With that being said, if you have nobody at the moment to share this cosmic, beautiful, spiritual lovemaking with, like our chakra, our root chakra, like you were talking about,
Yes.
which is our source of creation, creativity, you can channel it in different ways. You can do it through art and passion projects and things like that. So there's
Really?
ways to continue.
Really?
Yeah, you don't need another person to cultivate it, so you can keep it going and just come from a creative space, because all of our creativity comes from there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
And on that note, ladies and men, be prepared that I'm about to...
And now all those in between.
I'm about to launch a 7-day seminar, which I think we're going to do in Bali, Indonesia, for women to not help, because nobody needs help.
To facilitate.
To facilitate and support women to the sexual goddess that they are within, and to love themselves first and fucking orgasm.
Yeah. That's a good one.
No, that was funny. Okay. Hello. So it's Unleash Your Sexy. Thank you to Kayko Tamaki. Can you
you.
please plug in your website? Oh, she is
Sure.
your hypnotherapy.
Yep. So at Kayko Tamaki, which is KaykoTamaki, and then I have Hypno Sound Sessions, which is the Instagram for hypnotherapy and sound. We do hypnosis, we do sound healing combined. So yeah, it's great. And then I'm starting a YouTube where people can just access that and do it from the comfort of their own home and room and go through a journey.
Okay, and do you have an address for that or no?
Yeah, it's just Hypno Sound Sessions on YouTube.
Can you spell that? Because people need things spelled.
HYPNOSOUNDSESSIONS. Hypno Sound Sessions.
And that is on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, if anything resounded, is that the word?
Resonated? Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, that's
If
resounded a word too, for sure.
If anything resonated within what I said or she said, I can tell you right now, please coach with her. Please get a hypnotherapy with her. Meet with her, because she's so gifted and she can take you to levels of awareness that a lot of people cannot, because she feels it within her. And she's one of my best friends, and she takes me to those levels. That's why I knew this hypnotherapist. It wasn't even hypnotherapist. I was crying over the podcast. But I know she knows my story and my life.
Yeah.
And she's been there from day one.
And to keep following you, because like you're just this bridge. Like, take away the shame, take away this stigma around sexuality, and embrace it and love it and be with it and flow with it. I think it's so great. Thank you for what you do.
Hold on. Do you remember the worm?
Oh, yeah.
Go. You want to start? Ready? Hey, you ready? Oh, hold on, now I'm gonna go by side. Whoa!
All right, thank you.
Oh, spoiler alert. Okay, so tune in next week as I almost want to have you again next week.
Yeah, let's do it. I can also be a third guest with the other thing, and we can just incorporate.
Oh, shit.
We can just bring the psychology.
Okay,
and
right now,
whatever.
you guys go to the comments. If you want her to be my co-host for all my other guests, yes, let me know.
So what you're saying means they're gonna hate me.
Because we can make everyone cry.
I love you.
Thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe and like this. Send it to your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your best friend.
Your
Whoever you know at this moment is going through a hard time in their life, please forward it over to them. We want to support them and make sure they win, succeed. It's 2020. We're all here to win.
We're all here.
And we will both personally answer all our YouTube comments. So hit us up. Love you guys.